Bit of feedback there. Right. Okay. Bit of an issue there. Technical issue with Ben there, I think. Yeah.
Whose end's that on? Is that up?
Right. Okay. Bit of an issue there. Technical issue with Ben there, I think. Yeah.
Whose end's that on? Is that up?
Is that you still, Ben? Okay. Bit of an issue there. Right. Good morning, all. We're trying to get Ben sorted out a little bit later. Welcome to the morning show. The big build up to the Steve Perryman show later on this afternoon. Can't wait for that. In the meantime, we are going to have a little classic match and a certain Steve Perryman's 600th game for Spurs as they take on Liverpool back in the 1984-85 season, October 1984, I believe. And we'll just have a little bit of chat about what's going on in the club in the morning. Welcome aboard. Right, hopefully Ben is sorted now.
Yep, I had the stream not muted on the other side.
No worries, mate. I've done it before plenty of times.
I fixed it. Sorry.
Okay. I think I'll get straight on putting on the match first, shall I? And then we'll deal with some of the comments. And here we go. There's the Spurs side. Clements, Stevens, Hutons, Roberts, Miller, Perryman, Chiedozie, Falco, Galvin, Hazard, and Crooks. Not a bad little lineup, that.
Yeah, it's not bad.
We'll be taking on Liverpool in their might at the peak of their might at the moment. They'll be reigning European champions at this point, and we are the reigning UEFA champions in this match. Liverpool with Grobbelaar, Neil, Kennedy, Lawrenson, Whelan, Hansen, Mulby, Nicol, Walsh, Walk, and Robinson. Paul Walsh, sad seeing him there. I liked him at Spurs. Right, we'll just see who's with us this morning. We have got Carl Simpson. Morning, gents. Big day has arrived and looking forward to later on. Yeah, so are we. It's going to be so good. Can't wait to hear what Steve has to say to us. Carl saying, also, we haven't signed anyone and so slow at reacting, and Coutinho to Villa has continued my anger. Yeah, Coutinho himself, I'm not so fussed about. It's just the fact don't seem to be going for anybody at the moment. That's the worry. John Fitzpatrick, yup, the boys. Good of you to join us, mate. Mark Cousins, good of you to join us too, mate. Morning, lads, he says. And Derek Hutchinson too. Morning. Right, Ben, what's your thoughts on the Coutinho news? Shall we start with?
I'm not too fussed about it, to be honest. He's a mercenary. If Barcelona want to get rid of him, it's a bit of a worry if we go for him. And the wages itself, 380k a week, is too much for a player like Coutinho. I mean, we need to get rid of some of our own players who are on stupid money. The Delis, the Ndombele's, the Dohertys. We can't be bringing in more players for stupid money. We need to be looking for more clever signings like a Kessié, like potentially a Lamptey. We need to be getting players that are going to come into the team and actually improve the team instead of just taking a hit financially and no risks. We need to make some risks, of course, but Coutinho is a bit of a risk.
Yeah, I mean, there's always the argument about it's traditionally very difficult to get players in January, but it doesn't seem to be stopping other clubs, does it? I mean, we've got Trippier going to Newcastle, Coutinho to Villa. I mean, these are two Champions League players, and they're going to a relegation team and a mid-table team. I mean,
Trippier's shit. Excuse my French, but the last season at Tottenham, he made 9 mistakes, which left us outside the top 4. So Trippier goes to Newcastle because he is a championship-level defender in my book. I don't care if he's won La Liga under Diego Simeone. I mean, he was useless at Tottenham, and I don't want to see him back in a Tottenham shirt.
Oh, that's a bit
He's
harsh.
players.
Don't you think he's at least a good crosser of the ball? He can deliver a football accurately.
Oh, whoop-de-doo. The right back's job is to defend.
Well, different views
I
on
know
it.
I'm probably being really harsh here, but
I'm guessing you're sort of the traditional 4-4-2 man at heart.
probably more of a 4-3. I love the 3-5-2, but a fullback does need to be able to defend even in that sort of attacking system. But Trippier in his preferred position made 9 terrible mistakes in his last season at us, and it's unforgivable.
It is a lot. Carl here saying, Kuva, like you, it's not the actual Coutinho, it's the lack of activity and slow reacting. It is, isn't it? We were hoping to see players queued up January the 1st signing. You know, you'd expect things to be in motion well before the window opened. But as usual, get this horrible feeling it will come to last day of the transfer window. Oh, we tried, but it was too difficult. That's the gut feeling I'm getting at the moment. Are we overreacting too quickly? Maybe. We'll see. Trouble is, old Daniel Levy has a bit of form with this, doesn't he? We need things to change.
Yeah, we need proactive signings, not reactive signings. I mean, the last time we made a proactive signing was Rafael van der Vaart. That's how long ago it was. We haven't signed a player just to get a better player to improve the team in years. I mean,
I think a Van der Vaart right now would be fantastic.
Yeah, he would. Let him get him out of retirement. He'd still do a job. He was overweight then as well. We might as well.
Be better than Dele Alli. Wayne Bonner, morning, mate. Good of you to join us. And Cole Simpson, watch Trippier get a hat-trick of assists against us now. Yeah, that would be typical.
He probably will. And then Marcus Alonso turns up against us. So,
yeah, that's true. It's true. It's typical us, isn't it? Otherwise, I mean, okay, so Coutinho's out the window. You mentioned Kessié. I think most fans will be happy with Kessié joining. The question with him is, does he want to leave his potential title-winning season to come and join us at the moment? That might be a tough one. Would people be happy if they saw we can't sign them at the moment, we get them on a pre-contract?
I think they would be, because it would be proactive for the new season. If we can start next season with Skippy and Kessié in the middle of midfield, Skippy to be the defensive player and Kessié to be the engine that goes forward and be a bit of aggression. I mean, that shows that we'd be looking at a team that's being built for next year. I mean, this season's probably a write-off unless we get like 1 or 2 like bonkers signings and we get into the top 4. But next year, there's absolutely the possibility of us doing great things. Just if the manager is backed, we can do well next year. Yeah,
I think we would just like to see the club making some sort of statement of intent, wouldn't we, with the transfers? Like, as said, even if it's like for the summer, but some sort of form of activity would be very useful right now, because we're on it feels like such a slump after that bloody Chelsea defeat. It felt like back to square one, didn't it? Anyway, right. There's Adam from Tottenham on Tour. Morning, mate. Tottenham on Tour flying at the moment. They're over 1,600 subscribers now. They've gone absolutely mental lately. Great channel though. If you haven't subscribed already, get up there and give them a like. It's the home of the two Brians and Adam there as well.
Don't forget do
and of course
exactly
the bun.
The bun.
Or just blank flat
that
bun. Who was it? It was just calling him bun, really bluntly.
Being in the car with them on the way home the other night when they took me home and just seeing their sub count, it's like, oh, we've got another one, we got another one, we got another one. It's mental. It's mental, the rate of expansion there, the aggressive takeover. It's the Joker's taken over there, I think.
Carl Simpson, I just want to be proactive, but we do need players now as well. Yeah, we certainly do. Even if it doesn't really need an awful lot at the moment. We just need to beef up the squad a little, because as soon as we rely on the reserves, it falls to pieces. We've seen that too many times already. The fact that if Eric Dyer is out of the team, the defence goes to pot. That kind of says it all. That's where we are at the moment. Is it because we're underrating Dyer, or is it just because the backups are that bad?
I think it's the latter.
Bit of both, maybe. Mark Cousins saying Kessier will join us. We're doing the quadruple. Yeah, so that's my old one, isn't it? Yeah, why not? Let's have the quadruple back. We'll get reinstated
today, and the quadruple is on.
That's right. Just need a bit of alcohol for that, and it works. Derek Hutchinson, Vlahovic would be a statement signing. Yeah, definitely would. That would be a huge lift. I think all the fans would be pretty damn content with that one, even if he comes in the summer. Carl saying Newcastle have been linked with Vlahovic now this morning. Shows you what money brings clubs. It does, absolutely.
They're being linked with everyone, aren't they? Because they've got bottomless money. I mean, Newcastle are not staying up this year with Lascelles and who's the other dickhead at centre back for Newcastle. So we can't look at Newcastle until another 2 seasons. They've got a lot of rot to get out of.
They certainly do. The fact is, you can't really think of some of their players, can you?
Yeah, that's how bad they are. Like Paul Dunner, left back, useless.
Yeah,
who's their captain as well. They've only got one decent player in that team, and that's St. Maximan.
Yeah, does seem to be that way. I mean, there was a bit of hype about the Longstaff twins, wasn't there? But, or brothers.
They should have taken money for them.
Yeah, they just faded, didn't they? Wayne Bodder saying, I'll take 2 January signings and at least 3 pre-contracts for the summer, followed by one or two more in the summer. Yeah, that'll be nice. Depends who they are, really, doesn't it? If it's a usual sort of Levy Hitchin-esque sort of signing, then it doesn't matter how many we do. It's going to be no good. But let's see, is the so-called Don Paratici going to come through? That's the big question. I mean, I think jury's out on the summer transfers so far, because I'd like to think of it as a one hit, one miss, and a couple of maybes from what we did in the summer. Obviously, Romero's a good player, but jury's out on Emerson. Emerson and Hill, the jury's out a bit. I mean, Emerson's very erratic. Hill struggling to get in the team, and Galini, I've got to say he's a bit of a flop, haven't we?
Yeah, he is. Which is really weird, because the people I spoke to about Galini said he was a good goalkeeper.
I noticed an interesting stat about him, though. His last 2 seasons, the team wins more games when he's not playing than when he is.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's
maybe the lack of confidence. Maybe it's the manager has destroyed his confidence as well. You could put that into
could
variables, but
could be.
I mean, pre-Juan de Ramos, after the England stuff, Paul Robinson, who was a top keeper for us, he lost all his confidence, and we went from being decent to being terrible.
Certainly did. England ruined him, really, didn't it?
Yeah.
Shame. Well, bloody love Robbo as well.
Old Trafford pitch ruined his entire confidence.
Yeah. Carl again saying, I've never seen any club with 3 people involved in transfers and getting nothing done. Couldn't arrange a piss up in a brewery. It does look that way, doesn't it?
Great.
What are we going to be doing at the end of this month? If we end up getting nobody, Brian Daigle's going to be getting an awful lot of backing from people. It's just going to be so angry.
We're all going to be buying tents ourselves and going there with him.
Yeah. I mean, is Levy going to have to do something out of fear alone? Perhaps that'll encourage him to spend big.
It's not just spending big, though. It's putting the man who is good at doing transfers in charge of transfers.
Yeah.
I'm one of these people. I'm not totally on the fence, but if Levy's going to stay at the club, I want him to have no involvement in transfers. Just give him the checkbook, and Paratici does what's best for football. And if he does well, he does well. If he doesn't do well, you sack him. But if Levy's involved with all the transfers, he's gonna scupper it, because he's scuppered all of our best chances of doing transfers over a couple of million.
I mean, my big fear is we've been here before. We've seen all this with Baldini before.
But maybe Baldini was all right, but maybe Levy scuppered him.
Exactly. That's my fear now.
So give Paratici the reins, get Hitchens his P45, and just let Levy do the business side of things in terms of the commercial deals and all that nonsense, and let the transfer guru do the transfers. For me, it's not rocket science.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, Levy's got form, hasn't he? Can he really let go of those purse strings? I just doubt it. I just don't see it happening. This window, I think, is going to show exactly what's going to happen in the immediate future in this club. Because if nothing happens, Conte's going to be fuming. Where does that leave Paratici then?
He'd leave, and Conte would go with him.
You'd have to think so, wouldn't you? I mean, it's possible they'll stay to the end of the season or something, just make sure they get a nice payday at the end of it or something. But I don't know. We'll be in complete tatters if nothing happens. Like you said, it'll be a write-off this season. We're just not. We haven't got the depth in squad to really achieve these things.
Unless we just come out of all competitions and just focus on the league.
Even then, mate, we're up against it.
It's not good enough.
Even then, we're up against it. I mean, there's no way we're going to be catching the likes of Liverpool and Man City. Chelsea have had a blip, but they've shown, how much ahead of us they are just the other night. And then, unfortunately, I know people keep saying otherwise, but the Gooners are on a bit of a run now, and they're actually playing some good stuff at times. That's a worry. Because even when they do get beaten, they bounce back with another win again. Those points keep appearing on the board. We're starting to drop points with some disappointing draws. Starting to get beaten by the likes of Chelsea in the cup. We've got a few difficult games coming up, especially one against the Gooners themselves. This could be a very tricky little tricky period for us if we're not getting anybody in as well. The fans are going to be rioting.
I'd like to see how Arsenal do without Thomas Partey in midfield, because he's been most of the good shit with them at the moment.
Absolutely.
And now that he's gone to African Cup of Nations for possibly 7 weeks, due to quarantine, 7-8 weeks, I'd like to see how they perform with just Granit Xhaka in midfield.
Indeed.
So we do have to keep calm, but we need to be bulking up this team. It's not good enough.
I think the worst thing happened with the Gooners was them signing Ramsdale.
Yeah.
Because while they weren't playing particularly well, he was keeping them in matches and they were picking up points. And they got confidence while they were doing that. It's all played out badly so far. Never mind. We're just concentrating ourselves. That's all we can really do.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying all morning. Concentrate on ourselves. Make some good signings, some pre-contracts, and see what we can do.
I mean, if you were a betting man, how likely would you say we were getting someone like Kessié?
It all depends on Daniel Levy, whether he's gonna get involved. If he gets involved, we're not getting anyone.
That's it entirely.
Let the guy that's good at doing cheap transfers do his business. That is what he's good at. It's why we brought him in. Someone that can make cheap, good transfers. I mean, Andrea Pirlo to Juventus for £5 million. People told Paratici that he was an idiot. And then Pirlo became Juventus's best player for 6 solid years.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let him do his work.
Philip Brady, morning, mate. Going to be to join us. Looking forward to the Steve Perryman show later on. I hope you're joining us for that.
If Philip wants to join in, we can drop the StreamYard link in the chat. See if he wants to join in and have a chat.
Hey, Tottenham has
Yep.
scored! Woo-hoo!
Whoa!
I think I hear a Dermot in the background. Yeah, Philip, would you like to come on this morning, mate?
Yeah, because we need your help, Philip. I'm useless. So we need somebody sensible on the show.
I think Dermot needs a bit of the old Irish backup there.
Morning, lads. How are we this morning?
We're enjoying ourselves, I think, Dermot. How are you this morning?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm out and about, and that's why I'm not showing my face. I'm trying to track down Daniel Levy from Ireland, which is very difficult because he doesn't live in Ireland.
Can you see his shiny head?
I see loads of shiny heads. I've seen one drunk shiny head walk past me this morning. Don't know where he got his drink from, but he looked happy.
You got some of your special sauce. No wonder you've not been having it. He's been drinking it.
No. This fella had a bottle of vodka and whiskey in the other hand. I mean, he looked really happy.
It's called planning.
I don't know what he was planning, but by Jesus, he won't remember this Friday anyway. He won't be joining in. But everyone, please remember, hit that notification bell for tonight, because tonight we have the legend. We have the one and only Tottenham's most experienced player, the most successful player in our history. 2 League Cups, 2 FA Cups, 2 UEFA Cups. We won't mention the runner-up medal he got in the European final.
Why not?
He is the one. He is the only Mr. Coover.
Mr. Coover? What's
Yeah,
Mr. Steve Perryman?
Steve Perryman. Is that his name? Oh, okay.
Don Coover.
I'm joking, Steve. I'm joking. I'm really joking.
Drop a link for Philip.
I just wish you had said Mickey Hazard at the end of that. That would have been gold.
Yeah. Philip Brady says, could you send them the link?
Absolutely, we can.
And anyone else that might want to join in this morning and have a rant?
Yeah.
We'll put it in chat, shall we?
Yeah. Very, very quickly. Tonight's show's going to be a bit different because we've got Steve Perryman on. We won't be getting all the comments up as usual, but what we will do is get your questions in. And then I think for the last half hour, we're going to pick the best of the questions. And then we'll get them read to Steve Perryman. I mean, I'm so excited, guys. It's like Christmas Day, waking up and seeing the presents under the tree, but you can't open them yet because your parents are not up and you can't open them yet. That's how I feel at the moment.
Got your turkey in the oven?
Huh?
You got your turkey in the oven?
No. Had a roast dinner. No. But no, the missus just gone in and bought a load of vinyl records. I actually left her in there. I don't know if that was a good idea, but
all right, let's bring Philip. Oh, hang on, I'm just going to do a couple of comments first, then we'll bring Philip in as well. Mark Cousins saying, we all know we need players in. Surely Levy sees that too. You'd think so, but
no, Levy's blind.
He might be just thinking, oh, this has saved a bit of money getting Conte in. We're scraping by with the current players. Surely he can't be that stupid, though. Cole Simpson, you never know. We could all be moaning and then 3 world-class players appear from nowhere. Not world-class, but I do think Traore will be done. Oh, God, I hope not.
Well, you get your wish. Doherty will be going back to Wolves, so everyone's got their wish there.
Well, he's not been good enough, mate. It's sad, but it can't deny what you see in front of you sometimes.
No, you can't.
Yeah, would be nice if he did well.
Traore could be absolutely unbelievable, or he could be terrible. It's one of those hit and miss signings. It's a bit of a
bloke just can't play football, mate. He's just a bulldozer. Goes very quickly and he's unstoppable. But when there's nothing at the end,
game, it might work.
He's an NFL player. I'm sure if we're signing him, it's for making a team in the NFL. We'll see. You may be right. I mean, miracles happen, I suppose. Anyway, that's the same morning. I don't think we'll get a Kessier. I reckon he'll be signing a new contract with AC Milan. Just have a feeling. And says Carl, yeah, it could be Bissouma and Vlahovic in. That would be a good shout. Phillips gets the link and send the link, and we're ready to bring in Philip.
Morning, gents.
Let's put you up on screen so people can see you. Good morning, Philip. How are you, mate?
Good morning. Yeah, fine. Just been following all the chat on the various sites this morning. Seems a little bit of panic going on because we haven't bought anybody yet. But time is of the essence. With 24 days left.
Yeah.
How are you feeling on that situation? Are you confident we're going to sign people, or are you thinking, here we go again?
I've said all along, you do not make major signings in January. With very few, exceptions. I feel what's going to happen, we're going to get a few players on loan, or we're going to get a couple of pre-contract deals for the summer. People are going to commit to join the club in the summer because, we don't want to get the reputation, which we may have already, as a desperation buy. Because when Daniel Levy rings up some other club's chairman, the price doubles. That's just the way it is, So I'm not confident we'll get anybody at this particular juncture. We'll get somebody in on loan, and we might get a bit of the dead wood out. The likes of Doherty, I think, will go. But I'm expecting the big business to be done in the summer. That's if now, whatever agreement Conte had with Levy when he came in, that Levy sticks to it. Because I can see Conte walking unless he gets what he's been told he will get. I think Conte's realistic enough. He's not expecting it to change everything this month. It'll take the next transfer window as well. But I just hope that Levy sticks to whatever bargain he's done, because we'll be a laughing stock now if Conte walked on us. Absolute laughing stock.
Well, we will, won't we? Where can Levy possibly go from there as well?
We can't.
Hopefully it's in black and white what he's been promised. If it's in black and white and there's a signature on it, it will be done.
Especially with Conte calling him out basically in press conferences, saying it's all balls in his court now. You know who's pulling the strings then. Just a couple of quick ones there. Carl Simpson, Traore under the Conte effect. You never know. He could be the spark we need. I don't see it, but like you said, you never know. There could be something. I just find it hard to see how somebody can pull a football player out of a non-football player.
Can I just say something on that, COVID? Morning, Philip, by the way. Hope you're well, sir.
How are you?
Yeah,
Not
fire
too
away,
bad,
Dermot.
I don't like this Traore deal. I just think it's a bad move. It's another Hitchin signing to me. It's not a Paratici signing. That feels like Hitchin. It's got his fingers all over that one. Personally. I just personally feel that's got Hitchin all over it. It doesn't feel like a Paratici signing to me. If we do sign him.
To me, it feels like, if this £20 million price tags are to be believed, to me, it feels like there's a Levy and Hitchin thing there going, only 20 million. We'll get Conte to improve him, sell him on for 40 million, quick profit.
Yeah.
But maybe being too cynical.
We might be cynical because Paratici did sign him for Juventus a few years ago, so maybe he does like him. It's just like, I just don't rate him.
Yeah,
as a bulldozer and as someone that can occupy 3 or 4 players, he's brilliant. But we need footballers in this team now because we can't hang on to the ball for longer than 5 minutes, it seems. We need footballers in the team.
There's a question here for Philip. Derek Hutchinson's asking, what did you think of that rubbish the other night? And we're tying the Traore possible signing as well with that, shall we?
Well, firstly, no, I did something on whatever it was, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, whatever it was. I did something I haven't done at a Spurs game for I can't remember how long. I switched off after 20 minutes because why was I going to risk my blood pressure watching that pile of crap? Because that first 20 minutes told me they were never going to get anything out of that match. So I'm sorry, I can only comment on the first 20 minutes, which was probably the worst 20 minutes of my life, nearly. It was absolutely abysmal. And I'll be back again on Sunday and next Wednesday watching them again, but I just felt I couldn't watch them. I was just had enough, really. And that's rare for me now, because I normally stick it right to the very end, but not this time. As regarding Traore, how many managers have tried to get him to have an end product? None of them have succeeded yet. Maybe Conte thinks he can be the man. And if Conte signs him, I'll give him a little bit of, I'll say he must have seen something we haven't seen. But to me, he's a guy that scares the life out of defenses for 30 seconds. And that's it. You know, he doesn't. He's no end result. How many goals did he score? 1 goal in 2 seasons. What we need is a box-to-box midfield player who can create chances, and he is not that player. He's box-to-box, but he can't pass the ball, and that's not a good recommendation for a midfielder. You know, so no, I hope we don't get him, but I wouldn't be surprised if we did.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. I know what you mean about switching off. I mean, the last couple of years has been the first times I've ever deliberately missed a Spurs match. Some of the football we were playing both under Mourinho and Nuno, it was just shocking. Yeah. And then it was like we're resetting to that all over again on against Chelsea. If we weren't doing a live stream, I probably would have turned it off after about the same as you, but after about 20 minutes. It was just the writing was on the wall. There was no sign of anything.
The thing about it is, Kuva, I've been watching. You know, we have such a bad record at Stamford Bridge. You know, how many wins have we got? 2 wins in 25 years. So you nearly know what's coming, you know, unless something drastic changes. And the problem is we've got to go there again in a couple of weeks in the league, I think. Haven't we? Yeah, we're away from Chelsea.
Can you see it happening again?
What, another performance like Wednesday night? I hope not, but it wouldn't surprise me if we did. There's something about a mental block going into Southwest London. It really is.
It's that slow start. I just can't believe it. And you know, it's one of your big rivals, it's Cup semi-final, and to start that slowly, and just, you know, if the tackles were flying in and we were getting a few bookings, you know, if we were getting outplayed, it would have been okay if we're putting in the effort. But there was no aggression. We were so passive.
I would love to have seen the Battle of Stamford Bridge Part 2. Get stuck into them and kick them around the pitch. That's what I would love to see.
Absolutely.
That's what I was saying. That's what I've been saying. We didn't get a single yellow card against Chelsea in a semi-final. I expect a minimum 7.
Jesus. Oh yeah.
Unreal.
I'm probably the only person in this chat that had the actual pleasure of being there for the Battle of the Bridge, and my God, was it beautiful! Even though we didn't win the league that night, but my God, Eric Lamela stamping on Cesc Fabregas's hand. I was absolutely over the moon.
Yeah. Classic, you know.
Some of the X-rated tackles from Dyer as well. It was
Carl Walker as well. We're just taking people out. It was beautiful.
Fantastic stuff.
They deserved every bit of it, Chelsea. They deserved every bit.
Right, lads. I'm going to pop off here. I'm going in search of Daniel Levy. So if I end up in Tottenham, you hear me in Crime Watch. Daniel Levy been forced to buy players. It's me. I'm in search of him.
Have you got a license for the gun, Dermot?
I can't say anything on this particular time, Philip. But all I can say is Levy will sign players.
Right, okay.
You better hope nothing happens to him today, now.
Go buy a Potts bar and pick up Mr. Daigle.
Yeah, I'm picking you up as well, Ben.
Police are looking for two YouTube channel hosts in connection with the disappearance of Daniel Levy.
That'll be so funny. That'll be so funny.
What do you think? You can imagine, can you? We've been on Crime Call over here for them. Have you seen this man? And the picture comes up on Tottenham Tantrum goal.
It's time Levy went missing because the team was doing it full time on Wednesday. So
yeah, it was. Anyway, Philip, and see you later, and I'll see you later. And remember, everyone, 5:30, the great Steve Perryman. Oh, Jesus, I can't wait.
Absolutely. Cheers, Dermot.
Well, I'm going to chase this fella who's got the bottle of vodka and whiskey. Hey, come back here. That's my drink. See you later, lads. Come back. Hey, come.
That's Dermot for you. It just imagine though if Levy's off on doing some little business meeting or something, and people don't know where he is for a little while, and Brian Tagle and Dermot are just like on the run. Brilliant.
Yeah. He's gone to Westford to do some business deals, and hopefully he was thinking no one would touch him, and then suddenly Dermot comes around the corner.
Live with Tottenham Tantrum on the lam. Here we go. Adam from Tottenham on tour. Big up, Philip. Yeah, good to see Philip on the channel again. Adam is also saying apparently Arsenal are in the running to sign Vlahovic. Tomiyasu all over again. It's a worry. It is a worry. We certainly won't be the only ones after his services. He's a fantastic player. It's a kind of a make or break transfer window for Levy. I think so. Wouldn't you agree, lads?
Yeah. He has to dip in this time. He can't sing dumb on this one. He's got to put his money where his mouth is, or put the club's money where its mouth is, wherever he gets it from. But because, as I said, Conte will not stick around unless he gets what he was promised. Absolutely not. But it's going to be spread over this window and the next one, because, as I said, I don't think the major signings will be coming here. But if Vlahovic goes to Arsenal, there's going to be a revolution. He's already on record saying he doesn't.
Until they get rid of Aubameyang. That's what I.
Yeah, well, Aubameyang, is another Messalozal. They seem to pick them up with monotonous regularity. 400 grand a week for sitting in the stand. He picked up COVID on the way to the African nations as well.
See, I've got a feeling they're prepared to do what we're not prepared to do. I think they're prepared to sign Vlahovic before they get rid of the players.
Yeah,
the Cronkies don't have a track record of doing that though, so it's in our favour.
Trouble is, neither do we.
Neither do we. It's why he could end up at Man City though, Vlahovic. We still haven't thought about that. It's when we go to Holland in the summer.
Yeah. We even got a pre-contract agreement with him that he come to us in the summer.
That's what I'm hoping for at the minimum.
I think that's the best we can hope for there.
And we give them 70-odd million.
Yeah.
Done. I'm absolutely over the moon at that. I think, and not everyone would be happy if we get him on a pre-contract, because it means we've got a world-class partner for Harry Kane coming in the summer. That's what we want, really. We just want the signing of intent.
And don't forget, we've got Papa Sarr coming back to us in the summer as well. So that's like it's going to be like, well, it is a new signing, really, because he has never played for us. So that looks good. But as I said, I don't think January is going to be the month we're going to solve all our problems. We might solve one of them, but we're not going to solve them all.
Instead of Vlahovic, I've just got this sneaky feeling it's going to be a Dele Alli swap deal for Callum Wilson.
Oh, God.
I'd actually take Callum Wilson as a backup in low rounds of competition.
Well, I think he's a good player, but I mean, it's not exactly what we should be looking at, is it?
Yeah, he's a mercenary, though, was the problem. But we need to buy one second striker who can play with or without Harry Kane to give him a rest, and we need one backup. You should have minimum 3 strikers in the squad, minimum.
Derek's saying, try looking in the sewer, Dermot. I'll look for Daniel Levy, by Terry Dodd, says Carl. The long-running saga of Terry Dodd. I wonder what's happened to him now. And legend Dermot, says Adam. Yeah, absolutely. Right. If you were Paratici, are you going to be taking Conte's side more, or are you going to be pandering a little bit more to Levy and appreciating finances and restrictions?
Well, Paratici doesn't have a track record of respecting finances. He usually spends a lot of money.
He's also got a track record. He does a lot of free transfers as well, though. Doesn't he?
He spends a lot of money.
Or do you think he's? Do you think he just ignores the price and just goes for the player?
Yeah, that's what I think he's going to try and do. It's whether Levy sticks his fingers in. That is the problem. If we leave Paratici to his to what he's good at, we will be signing players. We need to have. There are too many cooks in the kitchen at Tottenham at the moment.
Yeah, seems to be.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a case of Paratici finds a player, but he doesn't sign the checks. That's the issue is going to be. And I really don't know I don't know what Steve Hitchen is still doing there, really, to be honest with you, because we don't need him.
That's buy me a cream egg.
We don't need him.
I had the theory about Hitchin. He's just there because Daniel Levy likes to deal with him. So it's kind of he's the Smithers to Mr. Burns.
I think it's the Family Guy sketch of the 2 bald people going in the lift and then licking each other's heads.
Could be. It's something like that.
I hope Hitchin isn't the kind of the honest broker between the two of them, and he's telling both of them different stories. Rather than
it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder because he's going to want to appear good to both people, smooth it all over.
He wants to be all things to all men, which means you can't. If Conte and Levy are disagreeing, Paratici and Levy are disagreeing on a transfer, Hitchin is going to be agreeing with both of them. Just keep his face right.
Exactly.
I think we're going to have a problem. That's why you can't have too many cooks. As you said, there's too many cooks at Tottenham at the minute. And we need the Paratici in charge of transfers. End of story. Hitchin can go off and clean the dressing rooms or whatever, but that's all he's good for. And leave Levy to talk to Paratici. And Conte and Paratici have been a double act before, so I trust them, but they get on well together.
I don't know what Levy's
We're back to Levy again as being the deal breaker here, whether we get the players we want in or not. And this is my big worry, that he's going to be too mean like he always is.
I mean, the only person doing the transfers. I think Levy needs to leave the business side of the operations to himself, which is what he's good at. Just leave the football decisions to Paratici. It's why you sign a bloke and give him the title managing director.
Ben. A few days back, we were hearing reports of Paratici and Conte were having a really heated argument.
They're Italians. That happens every day.
Yeah, I was about to say that. That's probably a good sign with these two. It means they are in full discussion about what's needed. And I was talking about somebody else as well the other day. Even if they came to blows, I said to them, that's what Ben was saying. It's Ben Kaufman. He's just saying that's the Italian way. You sort it out. You have the full-blown argument, and then things get done.
Then you come to an agreement. I mean, from what I know, it's exactly the same situation as the summer with Nuno. Paratici is seeing Conte every day. They're talking every day about what they do. So the fact that people are saying they have had a meeting, they see each other every day.
Yeah.
Maybe they've not had an official meeting, but they're definitely talking.
They must be. Otherwise, what's the...
You want people to have arguments. Arguments get solutions.
Yeah, I mean, even at the best clubs, even in their heyday, there was always bust-ups in the dressing room, arguments between players and management, players being unhappy because they're not in the team. These are all normal things you want to see them at a club. The fact that it seems so so low-key at Tottenham all the time, in some ways, is a bit worrying at times.
Sterile.
Yeah, it's like everybody's... cushy little job for everybody, isn't it? Half the time. That's why we've probably won nothing for so long.
I think the only thing where this can work out well for everybody is if Levy agrees, right, lads, I'm giving you, think of a figure, 100 million, right? And come back to me when you've spent it. And don't let him have the final say over who we buy and who we don't. Leave it up to the boys that know something about transfers. But guarantee them a certain amount of money that they can spend without referring back to him. Because I think up to now, every transfer the Spurs have made, Levy has had to okay it. I think he's got time to move aside now and let the professionals at the job. You know?
Yeah, it's what I want. It's what I was explaining yesterday with the whole structure of the club is totally wrong. When you have a hierarchical structure with a multiple layered business, you can't have one guy controlling 4 different structures. You need one structure does one structure does one thing, one structure does one thing. Of course, the chairman of the board can have a say, but he's got to leave the structure to do what it's best at.
Yeah. There's no.
Go on, Kua.
No. Go, please, Phil. You carry on.
I was going to say, I think another problem too is Paratici is relatively new to the English game, right? He hasn't torn up any trees or burnt any or got up anybody's nose like Levy has. I mean, I'm sure there are chairmen of clubs in England and Europe that won't even take phone calls from Daniel Levy because of past experiences. I mean, I forget which club it was, but whatever transfer Spurs brought in there a couple of years ago, the chairman said he had never, ever had the experience of dealing with anybody like Daniel Levy and any form of business dealings at all. He said it was absolutely soul destroying, be the word to use.
It was the chairman of Leon, wasn't it? After he
signed, I can't remember. It was in Ndombele.
After he signed Lloris.
Or in Ndombele or whatever it was. But they said it was absolutely dreadful. I mean, look at it now. You wonder why he bothered, you know. But anyway.
But Leon were also not great in that situation. They were asking well too much money for certain players, like Nkudu and actually no, Nkudu wasn't from Leon, was he? He was from
It was from Marseille. Was he?
I was about to say Marseille. Perhaps it was.
Marseille, I think.
The Leon chairman is known to be a bit of a prat. So I'm going to take what he says with a pinch of salt.
Yeah, well, fair
he's
enough.
got a reputation for being an idiot.
Yeah, but Levy, so is Levy, and that's the one that concerns
Yeah.
us at the minute, and that's why he should be kept well out of the transfer dealings.
Yeah.
Didn't Alex Ferguson also say dealing with Levy was a nightmare?
Well, it's because we kept on taking money off of them.
Somebody said getting a Levy to agree to something is like picking mercury up on a spoon.
I mean, with the whole Fergie situation, Levy actually got both of those spot on, getting as much money out of them as possible for players that wanted to leave. Usually when players want to leave, the price goes down, but with us, the price goes up. And that's what Levy's good at.
Yeah.
But we need to be starting to get some deals just done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's early days. I'm not going to panic yet.
No.
But I see people commenting this morning, and Newcastle have signed Trippier and Villa have signed Moutinho, whatever you call him. Coutinho. Yeah. Neither of those are on our radar anyway. So what's the problem? You know, what's the just because somebody else has signed a player before us does not mean we're not going to sign players, or we're not going to try and sign players.
Yeah, but the counter to that, I suppose, would be they're clubs that desperately needed the signings. They've just started making them. We desperately need the signings, and we haven't started.
Trippier to me is just a pure money move. Because would you, if you were a player, would you go from a team that was in the Champions League to a team that's fighting relegation? There's only one thing's making you do that is money.
He's going
how old's Trippier now?
He's 31. It's 31.
Yeah, so it's not like he's playing for. It's one big payday. Yeah, I totally agree. But it's a good fit for Newcastle, I think, because he is capable of providing the ammunition for him to stay up. Well, it depends on who else they manage to sign, but
that's the thing. They're not finding it as easy to find a player in his early to mid-20s because some of those players have never been in the relegation dogfight, and certain players are not suited to it. You know, so I think they're going to find it hard to if they stay up, they will probably sign half the world in the summer. But at the moment, it's going to be difficult for them.
Absolutely, that's why I'm sort of baffled that they'd want to sign Dele Alli. Makes no sense to me.
If you were in the trenches, would you go over the top of Dele Alli? I wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't go over the top for Dele Alli for a pint, let alone over the trenches.
No, he'd be asking, "Does this helmet suit my hairdo?" You know.
Anyway. Yeah, Dele Alli is the glass.
Helmet.
It wouldn't even be the sort of glass half full or glass half empty with him. It would be there's like no glass.
No glass, yeah. Like I see someone, Carl Simpson, commented there that he'd take Dele Alli for St. Maximin. St. Maximin's a different ball game to Traore. Like I know they're similar type players, but he's got an end product.
He's got tons of end product, tons of trickery.
I'd take him in a heartbeat, but Newcastle probably wouldn't sell him. You know.
An infinitely better player than Traore, I think.
Yeah.
I'll stick with infinite because one's a footballer and one isn't.
I'll go back to what I said. We should get some Maximan and we should get a Gucci sponsorship.
I'm up for that. Yeah.
No, it's Louis Vuitton. That's iconic. His whatever his previous club was, and he just have his Louis Vuitton headband, and he was like, yeah, that's a footballer. That is what I want to see.
He also looks like he could do well in the NFL.
Yeah.
You talk about a little bit Gucci. We're more likely to get Aldi. But anyway.
Yeah, true. At least we've got the trophy.
Oh no, that's Aldi. You know, Aldi. You know, the supermarket. We got
that. We'll be competing for the Lidl trophy next year.
The Lidl trophy. Oh God.
Derek Hutchinson's Hitchin is making the tea.
Yeah. That's about
I really do think it is that simple. I just think Daniel Levy likes him, which I can understand. I suppose if you got somebody that you can just dump everything on and say, deal with that for me. It is Smithers. It really is. That's my impression of it all. because like we're saying, what other reason could there possibly be? Why is he there if we've got Paratici? It's baffling.
It is.
Comes back to what you're saying about too many cooks. Right, Mark Cousins. Nobody can tell me that Conte doesn't know what he wants. Paratici has fingers in many pies. The buck stops with Levy.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, he is the one that signs the check.
Multiple pies. That's what Paratici does.
Yeah.
That's what Italians do. They always have fingers in many pies. I've got to go here. I've got to go there. I've got to go there. I've got to get my coffee. And then I'm going to get a cake. Then I'm going to get an aperitivo. Then I'm going to get this. I'm going to get that. That's what Italians do. It's the best thing about Italy. You never stop moving. No wonder they're all so thin.
I love this comment. Derek saying Trippier and Rose equals championship for Newcastle. It would be so funny if they have a massive splurge on players in January and still go down.
I know. That's what's going to stop players going to them in January is the fear of relegation.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, they're not going to get a Sven Botman in the champion, and if they've got a chance of going to the championship, but we should be going for a Sven Botman.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I think his price has been going up and up and up recently, though. That's the trouble.
Newcastle, they know they can get the money for him.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Well,
we won.
That was the end of the game. That was Spurs beating Liverpool.
God.
There was a game on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Anything else we got here? We're up to date on the comments.
What sort of team are we going to play on Sunday?
The one in white.
But the personnel filling the shirts is going to be interesting.
I think we've got to play a weakened team, haven't we?
Have to.
We surely got to. But we've seen where that can take us.
Yeah.
As long as Tanganga is nowhere near that team, I don't care at this rate.
Yeah.
We were doing score predictions on Spurs shelf side the other day, or yesterday, and I'll put in the comments 1-1 draw penalties. Dyer misses the penalty by hitting the floodlights.
Dear.
Yeah, it's just it's suddenly you start thinking Ernest Mora again. We've seen it on the way we played in that first half against Chelsea. You wouldn't put it past us to put in a shocker against them, would you?
It's Morecambe's Cup final. It's probably the biggest game in the club's history on Sunday, and they will be up for it. So what I would do is, to hell with Chelsea on Wednesday. I would play as strong a team as we can, go 3 or 4 up, and then make the substitutions.
Yeah.
Rather than play a weakened team, go 1-2-0 down, and then try and chase the game, because we're not good at chasing games.
That would be the sensible way, wouldn't it? But it's not really the Spurs way, is it?
Yeah. But no, I think Conte should know enough now. Mura was a salutary lesson. Then again, Zagreb was a salutary lesson, which we didn't learn from. It happened again in Mura. So it can't happen again. It can't happen again.
You know what I could see happening? Exactly the same team that started against Chelsea, and Conte just says nothing to them. Do the Alex Ferguson silent treatment. See what they come back with. It could be the way. I mean, hopefully we get a big spanking big win, and the confidence restored and everything. But I just see it being a little bit trickier than we want it to be.
Well, what I want to see is no mercy. I want to see go out there on Sunday. And if we get 2 or 3 up, don't sit on the lead. Go for a morale boosting 6 or 7-0 win. That's what we need.
That'd be nice.
We don't want to scrape a 1-0 or a 2-1. That does nothing for everybody. Can you imagine the reactions of that? You want to go out there and put down a marker.
Can you imagine it getting outplayed and scraping a 1-0 win?
Yeah, it can happen. I mean, it's happened a few times this season where we've been outplayed and we've won the match. But it's bad for your nerves. It's bad for my nerves anyway, I tell you.
It's bad for me as well.
Even with that Norwich game that I was over at, okay, we won 3-0. But at no stage in that game did I feel comfortable. Because Norwich had more possession than we did. Okay, they didn't do a lot with it. But what I want to see is a Spurs team with 60% possession or 70%, dominating the ball, dominating the match, and putting these opposition in their place. Not sitting back and letting them come at us. That's what I mean.
Mark Cousins said, so after Sunday, will it just be the double? Yeah, could be, mate. Could be, mate. The bet's on until we're out of everything. Always put a pound bet on us doing the quadruple each season.
Right. Well,
keeps my interest going until it's no longer on. Yeah, I mean, it's so difficult to tell what the team's going to be. What do you think, Ben? Are we going to do a weakened team for Sunday?
I hope not. We need to batter them. I like the Philip Brady approach, the Godfather approach, as we're now going to call it. Blitz them in the first half, have an aperitivo in the second.
Yeah, that's it.
Absolutely.
They'll be allowed 5 subs in the FA Cup. You know they're allowed 5 subs in the Carabao. Is there 5 subs allowed in the FA? If it was, it would suit us down to the ground. You know, get 3 or 4 up at half time and then make a mass change.
You know what? I'm not sure, mate.
Yeah, I know about that now.
It's the FA, so it's certainly not the same as Premier League rules. So
yeah, it probably is. It's probably only 3. You know, let's see. I'm just going to look it up now. FA Cup subs and see what comes out.
Are there any players you don't think we should?
5 subs.
5 subs. Oh yeah, that could make quite a difference, couldn't it?
Yeah, the FA World Cup rules stipulate that clubs may use 5 subs over the course of the game, including extra time. Oh, with a 6th substitute only permitted as a concussion replacement.
Right.
So there you go. So that we've got it in our own hands on Sunday. Play a strong team. We can replace half of them at halftime.
That's what we could have done with NS Mura, isn't it? But
again, that was their cup final. You know.
Indeed.
I don't think our players realise that. What's that, Ben?
It's a shame we're not playing Marine again. That was my favourite game of all time, playing in that game. Just for the
I enjoyed that. Yeah,
just to see people in their own houses look at Gareth Bale in their back garden. It was utterly brilliant.
That's what the cup's all about, you know. Really.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that was such a good feeling. Really, just a football good feeling game, wasn't it? That one. All the finances we raised from keep them going for the next how many 20 years did they say?
Yeah.
Brilliant stuff. It'd be funny if we get drawn against them again in a season.
I hope we do.
Yeah. But I mean, the chances of them just getting to the 3rd round of the FA Cup are astronomical again, I think. We'll see. Never know. Perhaps they'll become the cup specialists. Colson's saying, I'm sick and tired of underestimating clubs. Make them players play again after that crap against Chelsea. Yeah, I think so. They've got to show something to the. We keep saying it. They owe it to the fans. Yeah. I mean, Conte must have been fuming after that.
Don't they say if you have a car crash, the best thing you can do is get back in the car straight away and go driving again? Well, that was a car crash the other night, so let's get him back in the seat again. And
we did at least see some sort of response for the second half, but I mean, thrown the game away by that point.
Yeah. We're still well in it. We get an early goal in the second leg, and anything can happen.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a complete change of attitude starting that game on 90 miles an hour, not 9 miles an hour. You know? So,
yeah, absolutely. Have to be at their throats. Yeah, have to be like Rottweilers all over the pitch.
Yeah, and don't be nice. I mean, I'd expect at least 2 bookings in the first 10 minutes, and I'd be disappointed if we don't, because we've got to show those boys. Like Chelsea are going to turn up. They ask Tottenham lads, no problem. We want to shake them out of that pretty quickly.
I don't know. I can't imagine Tuchel letting them turn up with that sort of attitude.
No, maybe not. No, it can just get into your psyche. You know, we've done it often enough. Really, you think about
it. That's why where we are, and that's Chelsea win things, though, isn't it?
Leave your foot in, Jorginho. If Jorginho gets the ball, leave a foot in on him. 5 minutes into the game, take him out.
I mean, that's where. For me, that's where we should be using someone like Højbjerg just to sit on their creative players, really disrupt their play, anger them, really get on their nerves. Yeah. Maybe even pull a red card out of it by them retaliating, because that's where I think Højbjerg's at his best. It's he does upset people.
He's off the boil at the moment, though.
Yeah, that's what I mean, Philip. If he's not passing well and he's not doing the all round game, then get him doing the basics of what he does best. Just upset those players, tread on them. Back of the Achilles, elbow in the ribs, just knee in the back of the knee, stop them moving, stop them playing, get on their nerves, see if we can draw a red card, a couple of yellow cards out of the player. Really upset him. Total dark arts all game from Højbjerg. That could be his role.
Yeah. We need to be not. We're too nice. Really,
Yeah.
We're too nice.
Yeah. Missing Romero a bit from that point of view as well.
Oh, I mean, Romero, he'd definitely be guaranteed a yellow card. You know,
Yeah.
but
I don't mind that though.
I
don't mind that. A few yellows, a red occasionally. That's fine. Just do what he does. It's so effective the rest of the time.
I would love to see Romero against Lukaku.
Yeah, definitely.
He sparks flying.
Funny enough, I can see Sanchez. Well, Sanchez did pretty well against Lukaku, I thought.
Yeah, well, from what I saw, but yeah, it was. You know, you're always waiting. Poor old Sanchez. You're always waiting for the mistake to come along.
Yeah.
You know, that's the problem with him.
Yeah.
You know, he's not consistent enough. You know.
We say that with Dyer as well, though, don't we? And we can say it with all our defenders.
We missed Dyer badly on the other night.
We really did. We're
know?
talking about it pre-match, saying this is the test to see how much we do miss him.
Yeah, no, we do miss him.
And it was a huge hole at the back there.
Like of all the players on the Conte, he's the one that's rejuvenated himself. You know, of all of them.
Cole Simpson saying Dean Smith was talking this morning about Todd Cantwell and was asked about Spurs wanting him, and he said they want to keep him but can't rule anything out. That's interesting.
I was very surprised. He didn't even get on when we played Norwich. He was on the bench. I'm not sure. I don't think he even came on as a sub. Last season, I would have taken Todd Cantwell in a heartbeat. He's a very creative young lad, and he'd be a great signing for us. And he wouldn't cost that much either.
He even fits Daniel Levy's way of doing things, doesn't he? Young player with lots of potential.
Yeah, with a sell-on price. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I wouldn't be against him.
If he can't get into that Norwich team on a regular basis, he's not going to be too happy. So that's a good possibility of getting him. You know, I mean, plus the fact he's worked with Oliver Skip before.
It does throw up that question of was he left out because there's a transfer imminent?
Possibly.
It's certainly happened like that before, hasn't it? Interesting that Dean Smith said that though. That does open up a few.
Yeah, that would fill me with a bit of hope, because I mean you're getting we get a playmaker from the continent that's going to cost 50-60 million. I'd say we could probably pick up Cantwell 15 or 20 million.
He would definitely improve the squad. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
If Delhi was going out, he was coming in. That'd be quite a pleasing move for me.
Snap your hand off.
We'll do a swap for him. Do a swap. We'll give you Delhi. You know, he's just a player you need for a relegation fight.
Well, with Delhi and Ndombele, I'll be happy to sort of open the door, take the collar off them, and say, "You're free. You're free."
Yeah. You could always tell Norwich. Delhi has got their colours in his hairstyle anyway at the moment. He's got green and yellow in his hair. You know. In well.
Actually, like to drink like their owner.
I think that's a good move, actually. Delhi doing his hair like that. It's a marker for all the other players. They know where not to pass the ball.
That's true. Yeah.
Really should make his hair red and white like Wally. You know where Wally is.
Cole Simpson saying Højbjerg overplayed, but haven't got the players to come in, just like Son. Yeah, there's definitely a possibility to that, isn't there? He's not the same player he was last season at the moment. You could say the same with Sonny as well, and Kane.
The two of them, they're running on empty. They really are, you know. And in fact, just when you mentioned Harry Kane there, I don't know, did any of you watch the first episode of The Apprentice last night?
No.
Well, there's a Harry Kane lookalike in it. Literally, first, geez, what's Harry Kane doing on The Apprentice? Then that would explain where he's been for the last 3 months. But if you just look at it, he's an Irish guy, but he's so like Harry Kane, it's unbelievable. You know, anyway, sorry, back to the football.
Okay, yeah. So definitely I think we'd agree with that. There's a case for overplaying players at the moment because the squad's been so paper thin for a while now. And we're talking about his contract expires in the summer. What is that, Højbjerg?
No, I'd say that's Todd Cantwell.
Oh, right. I was going to say a bit alarming if Højbjerg's contract's up as well.
No.
Cantwell out in the summer. Yeah, this all ties in perfect with our sort of MO, doesn't it, for transfers?
Yeah.
Young player, get him cheaper than we normally would because the contract's about to expire. Yeah, I can't believe this one would happen.
Yeah.
I think we've all just said that we'd be quite pleased with that, wouldn't we? If we Delhi out and Cantwell in, yeah. He's
Nice like he worked very well with Oliver Skip last season for Norwich. That was one of the best midfields probably the best midfield in the championship, and they were two parts of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Still want to have a bit of a bigger name signing though as well. Somebody with a bit more.
I mean, he might be the one permanent signing we'll get because he's going to be reasonably cheap. But it'd be a good stopgap signing, not stopgap, be a good signing to carry us through the rest of the season. Someone that can create and pick a pass because we just don't have it at the minute.
Yeah, I mean, if we do manage to pull the stops out and we get say a Kessier or a Barella or some other sort of stellar signing, we're looking at Brozovic wouldn't cost that much, surely.
No.
That would really beef up the midfield for the rest of the season. I think then we would be looking at top four being a much more realistic prospect. But yeah, Cantwell certainly add to it because it's just refreshing the squad as well as improving certain positions. That's just as important as anything. I mean, all the great managers always said about this. You've got to keep the new blood coming in constantly. Keeps everybody on their toes. Keep the squad fresh. I mean, Fergie, he always famously would get rid of players in their prime just because he knew at some point that it's going to turn stale. You've got to move people on. He wasn't scared of doing it. He was genius at doing it, really. But we tend to hang on to him for too long now, trying to get that extra few quid out of it from Levy, I think.
It's lucky Fergus is not at United at the minute. He'd have no players left. He'd have them all gone.
Yeah, true.
I mean, it's nice to know there's somebody in a worse position than us, isn't it?
I mean, he's doing poorly is Ranić. Ranić is actually a football genius, but he's got a bunch of players that don't want to work.
Yeah. There's cliques in the dressing room. There's a lot of little groups in that club that don't want to cooperate with him either, it seems. So
it just sums it up when you're looking at CR7 and he's trudging off the pitch and shaking his head. It's like he knows that there's something. This is not what he was expecting.
Yeah.
I think he's starting to think maybe it was a mistake going back.
He's earning plenty of money though, so he can't complain that much.
That's true. But I mean, he's a natural born winner, though, isn't he? He's not going to be happy with this situation. Yeah, interesting ones. Right, what else have we got happening today? Apart from the wonderful Steve Perryman turning up at 5:30 on the show. Philip, you going to be on for our show later?
Oh, we're watching that certainly. Yeah.
If you can think of some really good question for him, just let us know, mate. We'll I
want to remind him of the best goal I ever saw Steve Perryman scoring. I was actually at the match. It was in 1978 when he scored the 1-0 win over Hull, second last game of the season. And if he hadn't scored that goal, we would not have been promoted. And the goal should have been disallowed, actually, because the blatant push on the goalkeeper, but the referee didn't see it. I wouldn't mind.
That's called putting him off.
That's right. Yeah. You don't need VAR. You just need subtlety.
I wouldn't mind. It was in the 82nd minute as well. It was right near the end of the game, and it was that tight that we wouldn't have been promoted. Then there would have been no Ozzy Aguilar and no Ricky Villa. Just that one moment really cemented our place in the Premiership.
Well, skin off our teeth as well. Wasn't it against Southampton as well? Southampton hit the post.
Yeah. Hit the bar.
Yeah.
Hit the bar. Yeah.
Hit the bar. Yeah.
I think that's one of the few games there's more Spurs fans in the ground than Southampton ones out there. I remember it was on a Saturday and it was nerve-wracking because we only went up on goal difference. So if that had gone in, that was it. Good luck. Shows you.
I remember being at a couple of those games towards the end of that season and being so young, I didn't realise quite the significance of some of the games. But I just remember there being it's the first time I felt real tension among the crowd when right at the start of a game, and I just thought, what's going on here? It's looking back at it, I realised what it's all about, of course. But at the time, my dad was always ultra confident about Spurs. He had seen the Super Spurs. He knew what we're capable of. But after he saw that relegation, there was the He said it was the first time he'd ever really experienced nerves as a Spurs fan.
So we were playing team. I remember we had such a bad finish of that season. We were playing, I think it was Mansfield away, and we were 3-1 down with a few minutes to go. And I think it was Glenn Hoddle got the equaliser, but he got the equaliser right in the last minute. You know, Mansfield away. Can you just bear that in mind a bit now? Can you imagine you go to Mansfield now and you'd be thinking, how many are we going to score? But we finished that season so badly and so, I don't know, the confidence just seemed to drain out of the team. You know, whatever happened, I don't know. But as I said, Steve Perryman's goal against Hull, that was the most the most precious one I ever saw him score. You know,
absolutely. And do you remember Vinny Sideways scoring the winner? I think it was against Oldham, keeping us up one season.
That's right. Yeah, that was 94, 90, some mid-90s. Yeah.
That's right. I mean, you know, Vinny Samways, you know, that well-known goal scorer for us. Actually, he did score a few. It was a strange sort of player in that respect. Very unadventurous sideways passing, hence his nickname. And then he'd pop up with some great goals for us.
Yeah.
But,
I know we have a few. Okay, even look at the team that Ozzy Ardiles managed, the famous five up front. So we need to get relegated that season as well. You know, so it's. You know, it's when you think we're badly off now, but we have been in worse situations by a long way than we are at the moment.
We have indeed. Right. I think we're sort of pulling to a natural close at the moment, really. Anything else anybody wants to talk about at all? Anything happened overnight or?
No.
I think we put the world to rights this morning.
Yeah,
I think we have, haven't we?
So we know we've solved the transfer problems. We know Paratici's the man. Hitchin can make the tea or whatever he wants to do, and Daniel Levy just signed the checks.
Oh, here's an interesting one just come up. Stefan de Vrij contracts. Talks with Inter have stalled. Could we be swooping in for him? That would be nice. Certainly a quality player.
Something else that would.
Leadership position as well.
Yeah.
Oh, Mark Cousins saying when Vinny scored, was that Bolton away? I thought it was Oldham.
I don't think so. I think we lost to Bolton away. Bolton were one of the teams who were pressing us for.
That's right.
Promotion. Yeah.
I'm sure it was Oldham. I could be mistaken though. Carl saying, this sort of. With regards to the earlier comment, he said he'd like a new adventure if it came up. That sounds like he fancies the Premiership, doesn't it?
You couldn't get more adventurous to come to Spurs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bolton's always been a bogey team for us. I remember that the 3-0 up and we drew 3-3 with them. Bolton have always been a bogey team for us. I don't understand it. Bolton, Newcastle.
Yeah. I remember.
Yeah,
Jimmy
I've
Greaves.
got to go, boys. I'll catch you later.
Okay,
no problem. I think we'll wrap up in a minute. Cheers, Ben.
See you, boys.
Yep, see you later.
Just to finish off on his Bolton comment there, Jimmy Greaves always told a great one that when Bolton was a real rough and tough team in the 60s, when he was playing for 50s, when he was a young lad playing for Chelsea, he was playing up on Bolton, and he heard the fullback talking to the wing back in front of him. He says, "What'll I do with this lad if he gets by me?" You know, and the fullback says, "Don't worry, I'll chip him back to you." So that was the way Bolton played their football.
Nice.
There you are.
Mark saying, "Oh yeah, Oldham. That's my bad." I don't recognise this name before. Hope new to the channel. Welcome aboard, mate. Sushant Bursal. I hope that's how to pronounce your name. Forgive me if I butchered it. We need to have patience regarding transfer. Any thoughts, guys?
Yeah.
I suppose that's all we can have really as fans. As we don't know what's happening behind the scenes. We can only guess. The trouble is we've been in this situation so many times before, and we've seen it from Daniel Levy so many times before. Nothing happens when it needs to, and when it does, it's underwhelming. Patience is good, but if nothing comes at the end of it, then it's going to be uproar because we can all see how badly we're lacking at the moment in the players department. Wait and see. Yeah, patience, perhaps. It's very difficult to keep being patient, though. We're told that season after season from Daniel Levy, 21 years of it. Philip, anything to add to that?
We've got 24 days left to improve our squad. As I made my comments on permanent stellar transfers in January still hold. We're not going to get any, I don't think. Maybe one. It's going to be loan deals, pre-contract agreements for the summer. We will improve our squad, and we can also improve our squad by getting rid of some of the dross that we have. You know, the likes of Matt Doherty, get him off to Wolves or someone like that. You know, just to take that money off the payroll. Dele Alli probably be another one that has to go. If you're watching earlier there was talk about Todd Cantwell. Maybe we might be in for him. He'd be a good buy. So we're going to have to be patient. We're going to have to hopefully not wait till the 31st of January, because that's often happened with Spurs. You know, we hopefully do our business early. But with Levy, unless Levy takes away the restrictions and lets Paratici and Conte get on with it, I fear we're going to be waiting toward the end of the month before we get anybody in. Hopefully that's not the case, but
I mean, if we'd got those some signings in, 1st of January that we'd had lined up, he could have shoved them in straight away for the FA Cup team.
Exactly.
FA Cup.
Now we're going to get a player that's probably going to be cup tied if he comes in after the first round's finished, the third round over. So anyway, let's hope that we get someone. We deserve it, and I hope that Levy has learned his lesson. By that Conte is sitting in the wings there waiting to pull the plug on everything if Levy does not deliver what he promised.
I don't think it's going to be a case of Levy learning his lesson. I think there's going to be a lot of fans that are starting to learn their lesson.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Unfortunately. Carl saying we are Spurs. We're our own bogey team. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It is. Spursy doesn't go away. It keeps coming back, doesn't it?
Lad, I'm afraid I have to go here. I'm getting the delivery of oil here. It's after landing.
No problem, Philip. Thank you for joining us, mate. Take care, mate.
Bye. Good luck. Bye.
Right. That's just me then. Why not? Right. So we're just finishing off there. Mark Cousins left my place at 4:30 a.m. to go to Bolton after Bale against Maicon. We lost 4-2. 500-mile round trip. Ouch. And Carl saying up to 240 subs. Let's hope for much more tonight. You guys deserve it. Thank you very much, mate. But it's not so much about the subs for me. It's just hoping it's an enjoyable program and everybody gets to hear some really interesting stories from Stevie P, because he must have tons to talk about. And he's got his book out as well. I've ordered his book and I haven't got it in time, unfortunately. I wanted to sort of thumb through it a bit and pick out a few chapters, but I'm sure he'll give us a bit of a taster of everything in the book. It must be a cracking read. And Carl also saying, can't wait to listen to the good old days. Absolutely. And you don't get much bigger than club legend Steve Perryman. I mean, record appearance holder for the club, won more trophies than any other player, a leader, a skipper that all the other players respected. You hear about when he spoke, everybody listened. It's managers with full confidence in the man. It's been there, done that. Got the T-shirt, got the trophies, got the medals. What more can you want? It's sort of career you'd want you'd dream of as a kid. You'd really want to be a Steve Perryman, wouldn't you? Anyway, that's who we got coming on later on the show. Hopefully the first of a few. We're going to see what we can do. Otherwise, we'll be back at 5:30 with the legend that is Steve Perryman, as I said. And thank you for joining us this morning. And we'll see you soon.